Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you so much for tuning in once again to Choices Now TV. This will be take two of the segment on Advance Directives. I posted a video last week with regards to this particular subject, and I kept saying Advance Derivatives, and it bothered me so that I took it down and I said, well, let's redo this, a take two. So thank you for those of you who watch the video and those of you who will continue to follow Choices Now TV. Once again, I am not, I'm perfecting this camera thing, so I will be trying to look at the actual camera. But if I look away from the screen, it's okay. It's okay because it's the information that is relevant. It's the information. So once again, we're going to be talking about advanced directives, and I'm using the site once again, which is called patientsrightscouncil.org. This information is also on AARP.org, and there's many other sites that has this information as well. And the reason I'm coming to you with this is because we, especially in the African American community, do not put these measures in place. Not saying that not all of us, but many do not have these measures in place, and as a result, it leaves the family in a quandary as to what to do in the event something happens with a loved one. Okay, so that's what we're going to hit today, and we're going to hit it, we're going to quit it. I'm not going to be before you long. It's just something to it's food for thought, as we say, food for thought. So let's start right in with what is an advance directive. And coming from this site, Patients' Rights Council, it states that an advance directive is a document by which a person makes provision for health care decisions. Now, this would be in the event that in the future that, they become incapacitated, unable to make those decisions on their own. So, for example, I have children, I have a husband, and, we may have talked about, what my wishes are, and I never wrote it down. Okay, and if I didn't write it down, they would try to follow through on what we had discussed. But say if something happened to my husband and I both, and the children were left to make these decisions, would they be in the right frame of mind to make those decisions at the spur of a moment? When it's a matter of what should I do? How should I go about doing it? Well, when you have these directives in place, that eases the burden for, the family member who may be left to make those decisions for you or your husband or whomever. So at what age do you think that you should put in place advanced directives? Believe it or not, the age is 18. So when you become an adult, you can actually put those directives in place. And by doing so, you will, once again, you're going to alleviate the pressures from, those family members that are wondering what should be done. They'll know, okay? So at the age of 18, you want to start getting those directives in order. So there are the main types of directives that usually come into play when you're talking about health care. And one in particular is the living will, a living will. And the other is the durable power of attorney. Okay? Now this is for your health care only. We're talking about health care decisions only, not dealing with any other property or things like that. Now, living will, this is the oldest health care advance directive. You put this measure in place while you're still alive. Okay? While you're still alive. All right, it is a signed, witnessed, or notarized document called a declaration or directive. Okay, so it instructs an attending physician to withhold or withdraw medical intervention from its signer, okay, in a terminal condition and is unable to make decisions about medical treatment. Right. So when we have the living will, you specifically state what it is that you want. I don't want to be resuscitated. If things are going downhill, just let me go peacefully. Don't resuscitate me. I've lived my life. You may want to keep me here, but let me go in peace. That sounds harsh, but those are decisions that will have to be made by someone. So if you have not written it down, certainly you want to do so. You want to inform the family members. You want to put measures in place, because a physician, they have to, they're going to reach out to those family members to find out exactly what needs to be done in the event of a terminally ill person. Should we go any further? Should we keep them on a respirator? What should we do on the ventilator? What should we do concerning this patient? So they're going to have to make those decisions. Now, the durable power of attorney, there again, this is for healthcare. It's signed, it's witnessed. It's a document by which the signer designates an agent to make healthcare decisions if the signer is temporarily or permanently unable to make such decisions. Okay, so it's just giving someone else the authority to make decisions on your behalf. Okay, it's signed and it's notarized. And this agent must be chosen with great care, since the agent will have great power and authority to make decisions about whether, okay, excuse that, about whether health care will be provided, withheld, or withdrawn from the signer. So you have to be specific about what you want, and then particular about the person that you're going to allow to make these decisions for you. Think long, think hard. Okay? Think long, think hard. Pray. Pray definitely. You want to make sure that the person that you put in charge has your best interest at hand. Your best interest. Okay? Now, there's also a combination Advance Directive. This combination Advance Directive is a signed, witnessed, or notarized document which contains specific written directions that are to be followed by the named agent. So you put it in writing, and there'll be no wondering. This is what I want. When things happen, hey, just follow it through. I don't know if you remember the movie 7 Pounds, when Will Smith played the terminally ill. He had some things going on, and he donated different organs and things like that. He was always helping people out, and he was going to die. The thing was, because he had lost his family, his wife rather, he went into like a deep depression. So in order to deal with that, he began to donate his organs to different people to help out. I think in the movie about 7 or 8 people died as a result of not being alert or aware while they're driving on the road. Him and his wife. Bottom line, it was like these people died. Seven people died, and the wife. And so he did 7 acts of kindness, I would call it. And at the end, when he took his own life, he had a directive in place, and the friend followed through with that. Okay, the friend followed through with that. So 7 Pounds, it was a pretty good movie. And I just mentioned that because, things happen, and you want to put those measures in place so that no one has to wonder. Now, I'm going to talk about two other directives, and one is Protective Medical Decision Document, PMDD. The PMDD is a protective durable power of attorney for healthcare, which is available from the Patients' Rights Council. Okay? Patients' Rights Council. Now, in this document, the signer's name is it names a trusted person to make healthcare decisions in the event that the signer is temporarily or permanently unable to make such decisions. So, very similar to the previous two that we talked about, but this is also another type of directive. Okay, specifically prohibits assisted suicide and euthanasia. Okay, is available in multi-state versions for use in most states. Okay, so the PMDD which specifically prohibits assisted suicide and euthanasia. And some states will allow you if you're just at that point of no return and you're just tired, you want to bring someone in to help you transition, by withholding different things, whatever the case may be. So, as it's stated here, that it is it's prohibited. It's prohibited in most states. Okay. There is no charge for the PMDD. There's no charge. So when you visit this site, and I'm not trying to push any particular site. Like I said, AARP has this information as well. These documents are out there. So I'm just putting the information out so that something we can think about. Food for thought, as we say, food for thought. Let me also mention one last directive, and it's called a healthcare proxy. So in the event you don't have any of this in place, there's a document that will allow an individual to make those decisions for you in the event that you're not able to. It's called a healthcare proxy. For whatever reason, you become incapacitated. If you're not able to make those decisions, if you're in a coma, if something like that, and you don't have these measures in place that we talked about, then you would need to, there will be a healthcare proxy. And that way you step in, the individual that becomes your healthcare proxy will step in and make those decisions. Now, say in the event they're family members, you have more than one sibling, and there's not a will in place, but you have to, someone in the family steps in and make those decisions. Well, what I would recommend or suggest when you have multiple siblings, not just an only child or anything like that, that you would discuss with them what you're doing. Although there's not a will or anything like that, although you're assuming the role, you still want to reach out and communicate with those family members. Listen, this is what I've decided to do. Okay, how do you feel about it? Just kind of give them some say, not that you're doing it all on your own, but give some say as to the direction that you're going concerning the individual, be it mother, father, child, well, not really child, but mother, father, brother, sister, where, none of those measures are in place. So you come in and you just you communicate with the family members to make sure that everyone's on the same page as you move forward. Because, that stuff will come back and bite you. They may say, well, I never heard about it. Nobody ever told me that this was happening. Da, 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 da. You know how families are. So these things will happen. So as I stated, I wanted to do a retake from last week. I appreciate everyone that did look at the first take of Advance Directives. It's just something that we don't talk about enough. And now it's time to get our affairs in order. So if you haven't put those measures in place, let's go ahead and do that. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. And you might be saying, well, have you got yours in order? You best believe I have my stuff together. Okay, it's together. And My husband already know. Kids already know. Don't resuscitate me. Let me be. Anyway, when God says so, it'll be so. That it is what it is. Okay, so until next time, this is Choices Now TV. I appreciate your time this morning. I appreciate you staying with me as we dive into some very serious issues this year. And I won't say just issues, just some very serious topics that we're going to be talking about. Different races, different cultures. We don't all see things the same way. We don't always do things the same way. As being an African American, most people say, "Oh, where are you from? Jamaica?" No, I'm not from Jamaica. I was born and raised in the States. Okay, I am a descendant of slaves. Yes, I am. When I did my ancestry DNA, and we're going to talk about some of that stuff too. It's going to get a little sticky, but nevertheless, I'm going to get out of here because I said it wouldn't be long. So I appreciate you. Thank you. And until next time, this is Choices Now TV. I appreciate your time, and I'll see you next time.